Guys, let's talk about week 1. Because if you've been following the channel, you know, yes, we lost to the Browns. But I'm trying to make it very clear to everybody that it's one game. We'll be fine. Everything will work out. We'll get past this week 1 loss and we'll, move on and be great. But again, 1 week is not going to determine anything. Because let's look at week 1 from all 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, right? Last night, the third best quarterback in the NFL, Josh Allen. What did he do? He went out there and he threw 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and he lost to the New York Jets. And you might think, well, is that because Aaron Rodgers was in that game and Aaron Rodgers has played better? Nope, Aaron Rodgers went out after the first play of the game, is now done for the season, and Zach Wilson beat Josh Allen. And if you look at the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen, all 3 of these guys lost this week. Obviously, Burrow with the least amount of passing yards, 82 passing yards, -1 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a loss. Patrick Mahomes, 226 yards, 45 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a loss. And Josh Allen, 236 yards, 36 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and a loss. The only quarterback on the top 5 here that actually won was Jalen Hurts. Now, I want to say real fast before people get upset, this list right here was actually made by Pro Football Focus. This is not my personal top 32 quarterbacks list. The first 5 that's my personal 5, I would say. Joe Burrow, then Mahomes, then Allen, then Hurts, and Justin Herbert. But outside the top 5, this is just Pro Football Focus. So just keep that in mind. Like, for example, I think Tua is a great quarterback. I'd have Tua way higher on this list, but Pro Football Focus had him there. I just did my top 5. Anyway, though, Jalen Hurts, even though, yes, he was the only quarterback in the top 5 list here to actually win this week, he only had 170 yards, 37 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Like, even though, yes, he did win, he still didn't even have that crazy of a day. And Herbert had 228 yards, 18 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. And honestly, they would have won if it wasn't for the fact that they collapsed at the very end of the game and allowed the Dolphins to score a touchdown at the very end of the game. But it was a crazy week 1. And my point is, to kind of show this off, guys, is that this is what week 1 is, right? This is why week 1, I always say, you got to throw it out. Throw out week 1. Because week 1 is the craziest time. Not everyone's ready. Some players are ready. Some players aren't ready. Some players always play good week 1 because of the fact that, like, listen, this is our year. We're going to play great. We're going to blah, blah, blah. And then the rest of the season, they suck. Right? Week 1, yes, it matters. It's important, but it's not everything. Just keep that in mind. It's not everything. Number 6, Trevor Lawrence, 241 yards, 21 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. They won. Lamar Jackson, 159 yards, 38 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. They won again. Aaron Rodgers, out for the season. Stafford, 334 yards, 11 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. They won too. So again, like I said, it's just such a weird, this top 10 list. And then Dak Prescott finishes off our top 10 list with 143 yards, 6 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And that was all led by the defense and special teams. And the craziest thing about this is, so this, if we're doing a top 10 list, right, of the most yards thrown in week 1. Number 1 is Tua Tagovailoa. And I don't think that's really that crazy to say going into week 1, right? He won, obviously. Kirk Cousins is number 2. He has 344 yards. Okay. Number 3 would be, I think it's Mac Jones. Let me see. No, number 3 is Matthew Stafford, right? Number 4 is Mac Jones. Number 5 is Derek Carr. And I'm just going to do top 5. So, Tua, Kirk, Matt Stafford, Mac Jones, and Derek Carr. That's your top 5 list for yards this this week 1. It was crazy, guys. It was absolutely crazy. I don't know if this is. I feel like this is the most interceptions we have had week 1. Like, starting off week one of the season, I feel like this is the most interceptions we've had. I mean, Ryan Tannehill had 198 yards, 5 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Like, that's insane. Bryce Young, first debut. I mean, he's a rookie. I'm not expecting much. 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. And, I mean, like, on the top, even top 15 list, there's a lot more green than red, which is good. It's kind of what you expect, right? The better quarterbacks prosper. But that top 5 is, like, all red but Jalen Hurts. And then that, like, ballpark range of 16 all the way down to 22 here, that's all freaking red. And Kenny Pickett, man. 232 yards, 4 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. It was just a weird week. And I feel like we always start off the year with this same concept of it starts off weird. And we think teams are good when they're not. We think teams are amazing and this is their season, and they're not. There are always teams that overhype their teams or seem to underrate their teams. I've said many times, even though, yes, I am upset about the play calling. I am upset about the play calling and how the offense operated in that game. But there's so many Bengals fans. I see myself on Twitter, all over social media. Oh, this is it. This is it. This is it. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. No, it's not done. Guys, we'll be fine. This is one game. This does not change anything. Tell me right now, all these quarterbacks, did you predict Matthew Stafford was going to blow up the Seahawks? Did you predict that Mac Jones was going to play really good versus the Eagles defense? No, probably not. Do you think Jordan Love was going to destroy the Chicago Bears? Probably not. Right? My point of this video to show you, our game, yeah, well, it looked weird, and it was awful, and there was a lot of rain, and I guess that does impact a lot. Doesn't change the fact that we lost, no, but at the same time, it doesn't change the fact that, again, there's so many other weird games. I know when when you love your team, and I love my team too, go who they, but when you love your team, you're like, oh my gosh, my team did this, and you just look at your own team. You don't look around the league and what else happened around the league. This happened all over the league this week, right? This is not just our game that we look at and say, wow, they did bad. I mean, Josh Allen, on paper, well, yes, he did throw a touchdown, and yes, he had more passing yards. He played worse than Joe Burrow did, even with 82 passing yards. He threw 3 interceptions. He is the single reason why the Jets had the ball on 3 more possessions than Joe Burrow did. I'm sorry, than the Bills did. So again, like I said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We lost the Browns. We lost with AFC North opponent. If we had lost the game, we lost to anybody else but AFC North opponent, I would be scared. But AFC North, this is how it is. They're a tough opponent. They're a good team. We've lost. It's whatever. But again, like I said, I just want to make this video just to show you guys this off because it's crazy. It was a crazy week. And I'm hoping that week 2 is a little bit more calm and collect and back to normal. Because let's get back into the season, guys. We have another, 21 weeks left to finish the season off, guys. Okay? And again, I still 1000% believe we're going to go 13-4 this season. And this was one of those games that I even said it's possible we lose. I didn't think we were going to, but it's possible we lost that game. And we did. But it's not how, you losing does not make you have a bad season. It's how you react to it. It's how you overcome it. It's how you move forward. Who they? Who they? Who they? Who they think they gonna beat them Bengals? Nobody. Let's go, boys.